The local all-share index is trading slightly lower so far today. This ahead of the release of the U.S. non-farm payrolls report, which could provide some clarity about the Fed's plans for interest rates. Lesedi Mabuza from Sentio Capital, an equity analyst, is with us to round up the Friday markets. Lesedi, welcome back to Daytime Update. Give us first that overview of what's driving global trade today.
I think what's driving global trade today, and what you're seeing, is that the market is trading at slightly flat to negative. And what I think the market is also waiting for a key data point, as you mentioned, which is the U.S. non-farm payrolls, which is coming out later today at 2:30 p.m. South African time. And what the market is forecasting for the non-farm payrolls for September is a number of 250,000 jobs versus the 350,000 jobs were added in August. Now, if this number comes in lower than what the market expects, this is like an indication that the U.S. federal government will hike in less aggressive increments going forward due to a weakness that you're seeing in the labor market. But if this number does come even higher than the 250, then you see that the labor market is still strong, and you could expect those aggressive interest rate hikes to continue.
Right, so foreign exchange reserves in South Africa edged lower to around 58.89 billion. That's in US dollars for September 2022. That was down from 59.76 billion in the previous month. What does that mean, and how should we interpret those figures?
So foreign exchange reserves in South Africa are basically foreign assets which are controlled by the central bank, which is the SARB. Now, the decline that you saw from August to September was mainly driven by a decline in your U.S. gold prices, a stronger dollar, and also changes in asset prices. But I think those factors that resulted in the decline were slightly offset by a foreign loan that was received from the World Bank, amounting to about 350 million, which did kind of offset that decline in that month.
Embattled Swiss Bank, that's Credit Suisse, plans to buy back up to $3 billion worth of debt. What's happening there? How's it going?
So Credit Suisse, which is one of Europe's largest banks, announced this morning that they'll be buying back those 3 billion Swiss francs worth of debt. Now, their aim is to, what this does, ultimately it will reduce their overall debt, but it's also an aim to try and improve market sentiment and try and install confidence in the market again, that after rumors came out last week that they were on the brink of collapse, and you saw the share price tanking last week as well. And after this announcement, you did see the market taking some comfort to this announcement, as the share price gained as much as 3% in early trade this morning. So you are seeing investors kind of slightly at ease that they're not on the brink of collapse, as they are taking action to combat what's happening at the moment. And you also saw Swiss National Bank announce that they are currently monitoring the Credit Suisse situation as well.
And Lesedi, one more thing that I wanted to ask you about before we let you go to enjoy the rest of your Friday. The BHP Group is now looking for approval from Australia's government. What it wants to do is basically to extend the life of a metallurgical coal mine. Why do they want to do that?
So the reason why they want to extend the production of the metallurgical coal mine in Queensland is that management believes that coal will be used for longer. So that metallurgical coal at the moment is used in the steel making process, and there's no other alternative coal that does the best process for that. And in terms of other green alternatives, there is a process that uses hydrogen in the steel making process, but it's done on a smaller scale. So they're seeking this approval because they think that the steel making process will use metallurgical coal for longer. I mean, they're even seeking approval for about 93 years. And the Australian government wants to reach net carbon emission zero by 2050. 2050. So it's kind of contradictory to what the government wants to achieve. And it's very interesting to see what will happen and if the government does approve this. Because even the big customers such as Japan and South Korea, which are customers that consumers call, are also making similar pledges or vows to reduce carbon dioxide emissions. So it is something that will be interesting to look at.
Lesedi Mabuza, always good to speak to you.